On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style. Hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day. We are finding out some major additional information and at like time of shooting, not like something they're telling us after the effect. It seems like we're fighting getting some body cam footage and things along those lines. So we've got a major show put up, especially around what happened on the assassination. Also, some major legal problems possibly for Kamala Harris. We're going to see. There's some interesting information that's floating around there, too. We've got a lot going on. Netanyahu's going to be out there, and there's already insane protests going on. Just another day in paradise. That's all I'm saying. Won't you be my neighbor? I want to remind everybody out there that karma's a funny thing. Karma attacks those who deserve the karma. And it's just odd how nature works, especially. You could be in the middle of a neighborhood that a tornado goes down the street and your house somehow gets skipped. It's happened numerous times. There's craziness. Here's just one of those random moments of nature where apparently we're not getting along too well. Oops, let's try to put these in the same place, though. I don't even know how they knew that they needed to film that, but obviously they got a little hint, and these whales are not happy. We've had killer whales that have been attacking sailboats specifically. I think been breaking the keels and stuff, just doing some really weird shit. So, yeah, nature's not too happy with us right now. Funny how the truth is coming out, and then how they're dealing with it. But Axios, back in 2021, they said the number of unaccompanied minors crossing the border has reached crisis levels. Harris, appointed by Biden as border czar, said she would be looking at the root causes that drive migration. And today, Axios is saying the Trump campaign and Republicans have tagged Harris repeatedly with the border czar title, which she never actually had. So then they followed up with this today, an editor's note. This article has been updated and clarified to note that Axios was among the news outlets that incorrectly labeled Harris as a border czar back in 2021. So you were wrong, or you were lying back then? And so now we're supposed to trust you. Or, wait, what? Doesn't this still hurt your credibility? Almost even worse that, was it 3+ years later, 3.5 years later, you're finally getting around to fixing your problem? Oh, Axios. Bill Mulligan posted this. Per CBP source, Border Patrol apprehended 43 Egyptians who crossed illegally into San Diego sector yesterday. All are special interest aliens. I'm told 50+ Indians also crossed there yesterday, and hundreds of Chinese continue to cross there each week. Overall, illegal crossings at the southern border remain at the lowest levels of Biden's presidency, staying south of 2,000 in recent days. Despite those low numbers, San Diego sector continues to see people crossing from Asia, Middle East, and countries that are difficult to deport their citizens back to. These numbers do not include gotaways. So yeah, the numbers seem great because that's what they're trying to do to make it look good going into this. This is also going to be the thing that they're going to kind of come at Kamala Harris hard for, is the whole border czar thing. She's going to try to step back from Biden and say, hey, it wasn't me, even though she was part of her or his agenda or his administration. So this is going to be a fun little struggle that they're going through. We'll see how it plays out. Funny how things happen. Hackers leak documents from Pentagon IT service provider Leidos, Bloomberg News has reported. I don't know what we know about it yet, but they are one of the largest IT providers to the Pentagon, Homeland Security, NASA, and other U.S. government agencies. That's probably not good. Now, I do think there's some of these hacks are bad people. Some of these hacks, I think, lately are probably white hats, but I have no idea what this one is. I'm curious what they got. This sounds like it would be bad for national security, but we're also talking about some of the worst agencies, Pentagon specifically. I mean, they're the ones that lost $2 trillion. Rumsfeld's like, we don't know where it went. It's like craziness. What the hell are you guys talking about? So this one here, Eli Crane just said these assassination hearings have said Thomas Crook's home. Oh, yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know. We're finding out that Thomas Crooks definitely seems more and more like an MK Ultra individual. This particular Congress member was asking some pretty crazy questions, frankly. Questions that all of us are interested in, by the way. Inquiring mind type of questions, but inquiring mind nonetheless. But he was asking them. Pretty gnarly. And this guy used to be a special forces. He used to be a SEAL sniper. Oh, interesting too.
Are you aware, sir, that many Americans believe this was very likely not a lone shooter, but a coordinated assassination attempt? Have you been getting those messages from people like I have?
I have not, sir.
You haven't? Well, there's a lot of people in this room that have been getting the same messages. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that a lot of Americans are like, this doesn't add up, this doesn't make sense, guys? How could this many things have gone wrong, right? Like the things I pointed out, a 20-year-old kid, got 150 yards of the President of the United States with an AR-15, flew a drone to conduct site surveillance, was spotted with a rangefinder ranging targets, then lost, had advanced explosive devices on him with no military training. Nobody was placed in the most obvious spot to conduct counter-sniper operations. I was a sniper in the SEAL teams, Colonel. As soon as I got out of the SUV and I saw that that water tower, I was like, that's exactly where I'd be. Put me right there. So obvious. After partisan attempts to bankrupt him, imprison him for 750 years, and countless depictions as a modern-day Hitler, are you surprised, sir, that a lot of Americans are like, maybe there's more to this story?
I wouldn't begin to speculate about what the American people think, sir.
Colonel, did your team make entry and conduct investigation at the suspect's home prior to this shooting?
Excuse me, sir? I asked that question.
Did your team make entry and conduct any investigation at the suspect's home?
I believe we had people that participated in that securing of it. There were bomb assets that we provided.
Mr. Chairman, can I have 30 more seconds?
Yeah, I'm letting everybody kind of go.
Okay.
On the night of. Since then, none.
Did you get any reports from any of your agents of anything fishy at the home?
I was briefed on.
Was there any silverware found in the home or trash?
I have nothing in the briefing that I was given, sir.
Was it extremely clean, almost like a medical lab? Were you given any of those reports?
I was not giving any of those details, sir.
Okay, that's what I'm hearing. Interesting.
Weird thing to me, anyways. I don't know about you guys. Maybe I'm just like, I don't know. It's one of those things that maybe just snuck by, but I've never heard the silverware thing, ever. The rest of it makes sense, but I've never heard the silverware thing. I don't know if they just use plastic utensils or what. I don't know how that works. Maybe they're afraid the guy's going to snap and stab you with a fork because they're probably trained how to kill with a fork. I don't know. That's very strange. Now, that's kind of a synopsis of what we're going to have some evidence of. There's a lot of what he was talking about that we've got people showing us. It's very interesting how this continues to play out. Now, Black Lives Matter is actually pissed off at the Democrats. They're lashing out. They're saying they're installing Harris as the presumptive nominee. The left-wing Black Lives Matter organization on Tuesday even lashed out at the Democrat Party. They're saying they're hypocrites for installing her. The group, which rose to prominence in 2020 for organizing, of course, the Black Lives Matter protests, but riots in many cases all over the place because of the death of Floyd, called the Rules Committee to create a way for public to take part in the nominating process instead of relying on delegates to vote at the Democratic Convention next month. Quote, "We do not live in a dictatorship. Delegates are not oligarchs. Installing Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee and an unknown vice president without any public voting process would make the modern Democratic Party a party of hypocrites. Black Lives Matter demands that the DNC immediately host an informal virtual snap primary across the country prior to the DNC convention in August." Now, this will likely just fracture the group even harder, which would be fantastic if they do that. The deep state does not want them to do that. They kind of want to figure out how to roll this forward. And we're going to get into part of it, but a lot of it has to do with money. We're going to talk about that. Kamala Harris, as Harrison Floyd put this out. If Kamala Harris is the Democrat nominee, that means she would preside over the counting of the Electoral College votes because she's sitting VP. She would be certifying her own election as president, or will she choose not to if she loses? No one sees the problem here, it seems. That's an interesting little side point. Almost makes you wonder some funny things. Now, this also being pointed out by Dan Scavino Jr., I think is meant to be kind of telling to us as well. I think it's meant to be a hint. What do we see here? We see Biden showing up to the White House in the limos, basically the beast, not the helicopter, not Marine One. Why is that? I don't know if Marine One just totes people around that aren't actually the president. I feel like it's kind of used solely for the president and not the vice president, or not somebody that's actually not really in charge anymore. One would wonder. But Dan Scavino Jr. saying, will the mainstream media ask why he didn't take Marine One from Joint Base Andrews to the White House today as is custom, unless, poor weather, someone needs to ask him why he came in this way. And again, am I reading between the lines too much? Probably, maybe, who knows? But it's a thought to have in the back of your mind. Doesn't mean it's true, but it does bring up some points. Ray is talking about the problems we have with foreign terrorists and foreign people trying to come after us. And right now we've got arguably confusion in the White House. And I don't just mean President Biden being a mess, but also, is he actually in charge? Literally. Have they already sort of 25th Amendmented him? I don't think I can make that a verb, but I'm doing it anyways because I don't care. I don't know if they've already done that. And maybe he's not actually in charge, but they're letting us think he is. You know, they do stuff like that. People have died, and then they finally conveniently bring them out into the public when it's convenient. I don't know how long they keep somebody on ice, but here's Ray talking about the threat.
That we are increasingly concerned about the possibility not just of a foreign terrorist-inspired attack, which is very much a concern, but even the potential for a coordinated foreign terrorist attack, perhaps like what we've seen against the concert hall in Russia, for example, but just here in the United States.
Well, he's been saying that for months, or, well, weeks, solid, more than a month, but for a little while. Keeps saying it, keeps warning. But is he doing anything? He seems like he's in a position to be able to do something. I'll tell you what, you guys are actually in a position to do something. If you've put a bunch of your life savings, your wealth, your many, many years of putting into your 401k or your IRA, if you're willing to put that at risk because, you trust them, I would be careful. Inflation's taking a bite out of your dollar every single day, and it's doing it badly. This is the thing that was I talked about this a while back, but I didn't understand it as well. The way inflation works is it looks at a rolling 12-month. It looks at where we were like in a 12-month cycle, okay? So within the last 12 months, our inflation is at 3-something%. Because just prior, and this is one of the things that the Bidens are being happy about, is one of the worst months kind of dropped off. But say inflation's already up at like, I don't know, because it keeps going up every month, right? Say it's already up to like 10, 12%. But then we get out a year from that, and it kind of flattened a little bit. So now it starts to look like inflation's not that bad. But you look at everything, it's gotten way more expensive. Nothing's gotten cheaper, right? So it tapers a little bit. And then it's going to start to go up probably again as they continue to print money like they are. We've seen the direct correlation to the value of our money being lost as they print more and more of it. And you've actually got many people, hardcore Democrats, that just think, well, yeah, you just print more money, duh. That really don't understand how dangerous this is. They don't understand that when you raise minimum wage, that actually screws things up. It really does, unfortunately, but it makes everything more expensive. People honestly don't think about Nasara Jassara this way properly, unfortunately. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but if it did, if, for example, suddenly everybody ended up with gobs of money because of their Social Security numbers or whatever, okay, you suddenly got 10 million, 100 million, $1 trillion, whatever. I've served some crazy numbers. Whatever. Call it 10 million. Now all of a sudden you and everybody's got $10 million. What happens with inflation? It goes through the roof. That would be horrible. It would destroy everything. But people don't really look at the problem correctly. We're in a tough situation right now. The thing is assets are valuable. Physical assets especially, because, some assets are invisible. They're just a thing, ones and zeros, and gosh, don't know what happens then. But real physical assets, precious metals, these are up huge right now. They're up huge, 45% with gold. And it's not just value, but buying power. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of their system. If you've got some cash, some extra cash lying around, some cash that maybe you feel you could invest and you'd like to carry over till tomorrow and have it make gains while you got it, buy some gold. You could qualify up to $8,000 of free silver just by diversifying or divesting some of your savings. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. I'm also a customer of Goldco. I love these guys. They do amazing work. They're going to help you through this. There's many steps. You're literally acquiring physical metals, by the way, when you transfer over tax-free and penalty-free from their system into a precious metals IRA. Tax-free, penalty-free. There's physical metal sitting in a trust. That's why you don't have to pay any penalties or taxes because it's not in your possession. If you're buying it with cash, you get it in your possession. That's a different thing altogether. They can help you do all this. They help with everything. They help with all the paperwork that matters and all your tax documents and all that stuff. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of their system before things fall apart for them, and it's going to be at your detriment. It's your wealth that's going to be lost overnight. And it's your wealth that's being lost every day with inflation, as it is still up from 12 months ago, 3%. And it was really bad 12 months ago. drslikesgold.com. People that are sitting with precious metals right now, they're up 45% in value. They're doing awesome. drslikesgold.com. drslikesgold.com. Get out of their system before they get out of you. All right, sharp as a tack is what everyone was telling us way back in the day, but about 3 weeks ago, the media told you that Biden was sharp as a tack. 2 days ago, the poor guy was basically forced at gunpoint to resign as Democrat nominee. His staff wasn't even informed. And now they say Kamala is the best thing ever. When do you think people will actually start to wake up to the lies, to the BS? I don't know. See, I think this is one of those moments. I think it's going to shake a bunch of people awake. I think we've got some more of these shaking moments to come, but I think this is one of those moments. Sean Cooksey put this out. House Democrats are now trying to silence me as FEC chairman for raising questions about President Biden giving VP Harris all of his campaign cash. All I did was quote federal regulations. Why are Democrats afraid of the law? So they're filing this thing against him. I don't know if it's a motion or if this is a sanction or I don't know, it's a slap on the wrist. It's kind of stupid. But he's bringing this attention forward. He's saying, look, they're coming after me for basically saying, I don't know if you legally can give campaign dollars from President Biden to Kamala Harris. Just because she's the VP is what they're saying. We don't know. Richard Grinnell's saying, don't back down, seek the truth. The rule of law must be followed. So, Trump campaign, we're finding out, is filing election complaints to block Harris from Biden's $90 million war chest. That would be catastrophic for the deep state. This is something they desperately need their hands on. All this money's been donated because they were all in on Biden, except Biden failed. They've already pumped in crap tons of money that they can't get back. And they don't have a real easy legal way to give it to Harris. It's Biden's campaign money. Biden's never going to run for another election again. So I don't even know what happens to that money in that regard. Probably goes to something at some point. Donald Trump's campaign has accused Vice President Kamala Harris of committing a heist and a brazen money grab after she inherited President Joe Biden's re-election campaign war chest. Trump's complaint with the Federal Election Commission on Tuesday accuses the president and vice president of running afoul of campaign finance laws by turning Biden's now-ended campaign into the Harris for President campaign, allowing Harris to tap into more than $91 million in the campaign's coffers. Now, one of the questions that keeps hitting me, and I think there might be some legs to this, but I believe it's possible this is the Trump campaign trying to force her to do the 25th Amendment, which is going to cause a lot of chaos, a lot of pandemonium. And if you keep in mind the fact, and I'll probably come back up, but if you keep in mind the fact that you know the deep state already pre-printed a bunch of ballots that had Joe Biden as the winner already. They already created these. And then likely have already sent out a bunch of stuff in the mail to people. So they've probably already got a bunch of these fake ballots pre-printed floating around out there. What's going to happen when those show up on Election Day instead of the ones they meant to have show up? There's so many logistic problems with their scheme that just got destroyed. Now, if they 25th Amendment, what does that do? How does that change things? Maybe a bunch, maybe a little, don't know. Does that give her access to the money? I think it does at that point. We'll see. But it forces them into a tough position. Trump campaign demands equal time from major networks if carrying Biden's Kamala boosting primetime address. Any network that uses airtime is an FCC law. I know this very, very well. Any network that does any sort of political thing in the airwaves, this is an important distinction, they have to give equal time to the other party. Have to. If you put Democrats on for any length of time, you have to offer it up to Republicans for the same length of time. Have to. It's the law. And if you don't, you're in huge trouble and you get fined like a mofo. Now, why doesn't that apply to channels like mine, for example? Because I don't broadcast on the airwaves or digital. I'm on video channels and stuff like that. So I don't have to do that. I don't have to give equal time, nor does anybody else that's doing these kinds of shows, right? So if you are on like NBC and you've literally got a stick that broadcasts to some frequency, which most local stations do, you legally have to give equal time. So Trump's going after that through an FCC rule, and they're going to have to do it. So it's going to suck for them. Again, it's awesome. It's just more free campaigning for Trump. George put this out. Congressman Andy Ogles has filed articles of impeachment against Kamala Harris for high crimes and misdemeanors against the United States as vice president. Seems reasonably focused around the border and those kinds of aspects. I kind of feel like this is sort of weak. Only in that she's vice president, and I don't think she actually has any power, really. So can we really impeach her? We should probably be impeaching Joe Biden, really. But it's symbolic, and I think that's what it's meant to do, is draw attention to the fact that she's an absolute abysmal failure at being a border czar, which they're now even trying to claim they never called her, even though they did. Now they're saying, whoops, we were wrong. I guess that makes it better. But you still called her that, and we're still calling her that. We're going to keep calling her that. I don't care that you've changed your mind. We haven't, and we're not going to. Neener. State election directors have expressed concerns to the U.S. Postal Service about its ability to handle the expected surge of mail-in ballots for the November election. Surge. Why is there an extra surge? There's always a surge, but why is there an extra surge? And I'm not talking about the cappuccino with a little lemon twist dude from Beverly Hills Cop. I believe his name was Serge. Different kind of surge. And it's not that drink either. That's disgusting. Different kind of surge. They have a whole bunch of ballots that are jacked up that they have to reprint, that they now have to mail. And then process the fact that instead of 110 million ballots that they've probably already sent many of those out, they are now going to have to send out another 110 million ballots roughly out there so they can beat Trump. So there's going to be about 220 million of these jacked up ballots coming back. Yeah, they're probably going to get a bit of a surge, I guess one could say. Again, reading between the lines, call me crazy, don't know, that's fine. The Democratic Party plans to alter the rules to nominate Kamala Harris as its candidate in early August ahead of the Democratic National Convention. By directly nominating Harris, the party would nullify approximately 14 million primary votes cast for Biden. Party leaders will meet on Wednesday to amend roll call rules, enabling Harris to accept the nomination prior to the convention in Chicago. So they're moving some things up. They're basically telling all the people that just voted, Black Lives Matter's pissed off about it, obviously, but they're just telling all those guys, yeah, we don't care what you voted for. Sorry. Too bad. So sad. We've got to deal with this. We're going to go ahead and give your vote to the person we want to give them to. We don't give a crap what you think. We're not even going to ask you. It's democracy, right? The party of democracy. Don't care what other people think, though. No. Love it. I don't know. Just waiting for a lot of people to finally pull their heads out of their asses. It's got the amount of flexibility to even be able to put your head into your ass is impressive nonetheless. But watching people do it and pull their heads out, it's going to be a fascinating time. We're going to get to know people. It'll be like after COVID. You remember when people finally stopped taking off their masks and you got to see certain people for like the first time, maybe ever? And you're like, holy crap. There's one chick at the gym, really pretty eyes and forehead. Yeah, she took her. Wow, changed everything. Yes, that was one of the funniest examples I remember. I was just like, anyway, it was just, it is what it is. But yeah, you're covering with a diaper most of your face. Looks different. Reid Hoffman, who wished Trump was actually a martyr, wants to be Democratic mega donor like George Soros, a source says. Dude, my whole thing, people are freaking out about this. I'm like, no, all these douche holes that are stupid, dude, pump all your money, as much of it as you can, all of it. Pump it into these campaigns because you guys are going to lose. You're going to lose all your money. So we're going to have a tech dark money billionaire guy that's going to lose a huge chunk of his life savings because he's stupid and he's playing for the wrong team. So awesome. But yeah, it demonstrates how they play, how the deep state works. These people are all beholden to those that have made them who they are. Very few have broken away. Musk and Trump are really the only two I can think of in the billionaire category that probably fall into that. We'll see how that continues to play out. Here's another example of, well, how exciting they are. This is a crap picture. Dude, if you guys are anywhere and you're going to take pictures, this happened with my merch stuff recently. It was a bummer. A bunch of the photos have horrible pictures. They're like all grainy and stuff. It's like, how does this happen? Everybody's got like at least an iPhone something that's got, right? And if not, you guys should seriously look into the Samsung. It's got a really good camera. But all said, holy crap. How is this? Anyway, half this gym, this looks like it's double courts at least, half this gym is roped off, and it's still not full. And this was Kamala Harris's rally. She had her first rally, for that matter. So, woo! The excitement's all over the place. That's so much excitement, I can't touch it. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. Well, I kind of can't, because there's nothing here to hide. Donald Trump says Biden-Harris administration did not properly protect me, and I was forced to take a bullet for democracy. It was my great honor to do so. Kind of a strange way to look at it, but for what is happening from this, yeah, it's like, dude, can we shoot off part of your ear in public, and then we can change the world? Be like, all right, really? We got to do that? Yeah, we need to shoot part of your ear. Damn. And I'm not saying they faked it. I'm just saying God talking to us, like, I'll make sure you're cool. That'd be someone I would trust, right? Be like, all right, if God's is behind this, if God's got my back, all right, yeah, go for it. It's still sketchy. God's like, I got this, I can do this. I can do this shot with my eyes closed. Seriously, totally can. So we'll see. Now, I'm not trying to poke fun. One, we had the Navy SEAL guy, which I think he's talked already, but yeah, he did talk. He talked about how this is where he would go. I thought that too. Every movie we've ever seen, you always have the one sniper guy that's like God. They always call themselves God or Eagle Eye or some sort of concept of, dude, they're top down. They're the high up. They got the view of everything. So that tower would have been beautiful. Did we have anyone up there? I don't know. Could be. Who knows? Some of the work that's been done with the angles of bullets going, pretty solid. But again, do we really know where they all are? We know a bunch of them hit that tractor, but that could have been hit. I think we could draw lines from that tractor and probably get to the tower too. Again, I'd love to see it. We've seen some very good stuff. I keep asking questions, and it's odd. I keep very next day. It's how manifesting works, by the way, guys. And then the very next day, I usually end up with some sort of information, whether it's somebody I know closely or just it shows up in my feed. But this is the thing where everybody's saying this is someone standing up there. This is that shadow that someone zoomed in on and then zoomed in on that heavily pixelated thing even further and tried to clean up the image, it looks like. So they're saying this is the head, this is the body, and he's got a knee down, he's shooting from the knee position, which you probably wouldn't do from that distance, I'm just going to say, because there would be too much movement in your rifle to compensate for, 500-yard shot, 600-yard shot, 700-yard shot? I don't know how far away that tower was. It was pretty damn far. So you'd probably want to be prone with the tripod down to reduce any movement at all. And then from there, now you're dealing with atmosphere and wind and crazy shit like that, right? So I don't think he'd be shooting from a kneed position. Just saying, I'm not a sniper, but I have played that character many video games. So it makes me an expert. I'm kidding. It does not. I'm totally kidding. That was just for any snipers that are actually out there that'd be like, dude, come on, shut up, Dan. I'm just saying. We've got some video on this, and I want to get into a lot of this stuff right here. Here's the Trump rally shooter flew a drone about 200 yards from the rally venue the day of, I believe it is.
Fox News alert, we've obtained brand new video of the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. National correspondent Brian Yennis is live in Butler. Brian.
Jesse, good evening. We just obtained exclusive new video of the assassination attempt 10 days ago. It is the clearest and closest video we've seen yet, taken by an eyewitness who was there with his family next to the AGR building as Thomas Crooks opened fire. You can hear 8 shots, what sounds like 8 shots, followed by 2 counter sniper shots, including the kill shot from the Secret Service. Watch and listen. At one point, Thomas Crooks points his rifle at the eyewitness and those rally goers. This is what he told us about security on that day.
Definitely wasn't secure. I'm actually ex-military. One of the first things I noticed when we walked up, I'm like, none of us have been vetted. We're all along the fence. We all have view of the stage. We could see Trump.
John Grassley, Senator Grassley just released video as well of body camera footage, which confirms that a local sniper took a photo of Thomas Crooks before the shooting.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Yeah, so we got that. That's interesting. What we also have, did I do that one yet? Yes, I did. Good. We also have this. Trump, I don't think I actually played that. Looks like I missed it. Whatever. He said the rally drone, he flew a drone. All said. We tried to play that. These buttons are funny. Anyway, don't want to get into it. House Judiciary GOP put this out. Trump assassination attempt update. From Director FBI. Shooter flew a drone over the area around 3:50 p.m. 3 explosive devices were found. Remote detonators were not turned on. No accomplices at this time. 8 bullet cartridges found on the roof. We've got actual footage of that discovery happening near real time. So this is what we know. This is what's out. Here is Bishop asking why they didn't keep Trump off the stage. He's kind of saying that's not really his deal, which is sort of true, but he's investigating it, so I don't know what he knows.
Wasn't Trump not kept off the stage?
We don't know the answer to that, but I want to be clear, and this is important because I think it goes to questions that I can and cannot answer. Our investigation, the FBI's mandate, is focused on the shooter and all things related to his attack. Now, obviously, I understand very much the intense interest and focus on the Secret Service's performance, actions, decision-making, etc. There are 2 separate after-action reviews, the DHS Inspector General and the outside independent panel that's been convened that are focused on that. Now, our investigation will obviously overlap with that.
Here's the problem. We're out 13 days, and you say we've been disclosing. We had the the colonel from the Pennsylvania State Police in front of Homeland yesterday. He was quite candid. He disclosed to us that Butler Emergency Services Unit personnel were posted into the windows on the 2nd floor of the AGR building, that they left there to go pursue the person that they spotted, Crooks, that they texted a photo of Crooks to the PSP representative in the command center. That information was relayed to the United States Secret Service. They asked that it be texted to someone else. That was many minutes before President Trump took the stand. What we don't know is why were they not keeping him off the stand? And to the extent, I know we always hear when there's a criminal investigation, you got to wait for that to develop. But do you have any reason to, do you have any other target of your criminal investigation other than Crooks, who's dead?
We are investigating the shooter both to determine his motive and his preparations and activities before the shooting, but also to make sure whether or not there are any co-conspirators, accomplices.
At this point, have you developed any evidence to so suggest that there are any accomplices or cooperators or assisters?
Not at this time, but again, the investigation's ongoing.
So here's the thing. Why?
What the hell's that? But we've actually had a number of people kind of come forward in back channel ways to suggest that with some geofencing data for cell phones, that there's very strong chance that we've got other people involved, possibly even an FBI agent involved. So again, he wouldn't mention that, and I don't know if the wording was perfect or not, but it's just something to keep in mind. Here's some more released helmet camera. I think this is the one that shows the shell casings being shown. If not, that's coming. But anyways, this is it. This was pretty solid stuff. Check this out.
Fallout from the assassin attempt on former President Trump. New video from the roof released. The Secret Service asked Trump to stop holding outdoor rallies, and the Secret Service director has resigned. Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas starts us off from Washington. Good morning, Pierre.
George, good morning. Our audience is about to see the frantic seconds in the moments after the gunman tried to kill former President Trump. It's all caught on police body cam video. And warning to our family at home, what you're about to see may be disturbing.
This morning, new helmet camera video obtained by ABC News showing the moments law enforcement raced to that roof. Go. After a sniper killed the gunman who opened fire at a Trump rally. Officers climbing up a ladder.
Thanks, bro. Yep.
In chilling detail, the video shows an assault-style rifle lying next to the dead body of shooter Thomas Matthew Crooks. A trail of blood seen streaming down that sloped roof. An officer kneels down by the gunman. There appears to be a small device next to the shooter that was not seen earlier. The officer takes out the battery, then pulling out a phone as he checks the gunman's pockets.
A rangefinder. I think it's in the cargo pocket. Is it a normal rangefinder?
Police also seen counting the shell cases.
Looks like, what, at least 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At least 8.
At one point, a law enforcement official who appears to be a Secret Service agent and another officer heard discussing the evidence the shooter was believed to have left behind.
And this is his bike with the stuff. And our sniper seen him walking away from that, I believe.
This image clearly visible on the phone held by the local officer wearing the helmet cam. The new video comes amid mounting scrutiny aimed at the Secret Service and how it handled the assassination attempt, both before and after. The alleged lack of transparency costing the head of the Secret Service her job. Kim Cheadle, after vowing to stay, telling her workforce she no longer wanted to be, quote, a distraction. And now multiple sources telling ABC News that the Secret Service has asked the Trump campaign to consider not holding outdoor rallies in the wake of the assassination attempt and the heightened threat environment.
The FBI director will be on Capitol Hill later this morning, where he will face questions about what took place and is likely to provide an update on what he is calling an extremely dangerous threat environment. Robin.
Thank you, Pierre. Appreciate your reporting.
Large amounts of info are coming out, folks. Let's be honest. A lot of info is continuing to come out. Here's Chuck Grassley. Also obtained some new body cam footage from local law enforcement filmed right after the assassination as well. And by the way, that roof, not very sloped. Secondly, we actually do see the shell casings. That's interesting. 8 of them. Implies a good chunk of those shots came from that rooftop, which would kind of show for that. Maybe they were planted, a lot of people would say, because, again, if your mind's already made up, you've got to come up with excuses for why evidence sits there. But I feel like these people were there almost immediately after it happened. Blood was still more or less fresh, right? That wasn't totally congealed, though pretty seriously had, but it was on the roof, too, with the sun. So, yeah, but that was a lot of blood, by the way. And they keep not showing the dude's head because there's probably not a whole lot of it left. All said, crazy. Here's Chuck Grassley. More footage that kind of looks bad for the big picture.
So this is the guy that
yes, that they sent yes, Beaver County sniper team and sent the pictures out. This is him.
Okay, all right.
We're right there, obviously.
Got it. So the bike in the back, is he on that bike?
We don't know.
We don't know. So we're just treating that as suspicious device.
Oh, 1 second. I believe the sniper that seen these and sent the pictures is right inside this building. Michelle, is Greg in there? All right, so if you go to that window that's open and yell for Greg, that's the sniper that sent the original pictures and seen him come from the bike and set the book back down and then lost sight of him.
Okay.
He's the one that sent the pictures out. I don't know if you got the same ones I did.
I think I did, yeah. He's like got his glasses on and he's...
So we had the picture of that.
I got that.
Okay, and then this is his bike with the stuff. And our sniper seen him walking away from that, I believe.
Okay.
But he would be right inside that window. He's the one that physically seen this, sent the pictures, and called it out.
Okay, so, and we have somebody detained, correct?
That I don't know.
People detained on this side. Our guy that was just up here told me that there's a guy detained. He's the owner of the bike, and I said, no, I think that's the owner of the bike.
Yeah, basically when I got
We've been up here, so we wouldn't know that information.
We just hauled ass. We got over here.
Got it.
We hopped up
no. Yeah, that's no problem. Is that all your stuff? Yeah, so someone came up looking to treat him and this Yes. Okay.
Copy. Gas is off to the building, just so you know.
Thank you. Yeah, they do. I talked to the guy. Those people detained were filming. Maybe they were involved. Maybe they weren't. Other than that, I haven't heard anybody. Well, I think it's. The guys that saw them filming were like, oh, they were filming us, and then filming the guy up on the roof, and then filming us, and then when the shots started firing, they tried to run away. He's like, isn't that what everybody would do that has a phone? I'm not saying they weren't involved. But you know what I mean? Like that.
It's up in the air right now, right?
Right. So I got no problem detaining them. But again, I'm just trying to detain those guys, find out what they know, who they are, whatever. I'm trying to get clear information to relay back to DC. We have one shooter deceased. I think we have 3 victims in the crowd. Is that you guys hearing that too?
That I'm not sure.
So I heard 1 deceased, 2 life-flighted.
I know 2 helicopters did take off.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how many victims.
3 are deceased.
One command. We have access to a drone. Where's this water tower?
Any LE?
No, I will try to confirm.
In the van. Did he survive? Copy.
Now that office, that open location, that window was really close to all this, and still, I mean, it looks like shell casings found on the roof. So we kind of can make some assumptions. I don't think there was more than 8 shots, and then a couple follow-ups is what they're saying. It is interesting how far away the gun seems to have become from the shooter. I don't know if when the counter snipers hit him and it caused his body to roll or something. I don't know. The force and momentum, I'm sure, is significant. His gun seems to be reasonably far away from where he's at. Again, I don't know how bodies behave. Chuck Grassley put this out. Today, I'm introducing a bipartisan bill with Senator Cortez Masto to require Senate confirmation for all future Secret Service directors. We need qualified and accountable leadership at the United States Secret Service. And this, of course, is after conservative lawmakers, activists want Homeland Security Mayorkas to resign also over Trump's assassination attempt. He's the one, by the way, who appointed the new Secret Service director, Mayorkas, the dude that's literally been impeached, that's literally kept information from, that's literally got the most unsafe border we've ever had in the history of this country. He's also in charge of keeping the president and Biden, Harris, alive. I had to fix those words in my mind really quick. Sorry. Slow for a moment. Mayorkas does not belong there. We've got some information being brought up here. And I think this is, I forget who it was that signed this. Grassley signed this. So they're writing this to Secretary Mayorkas and Acting Director Rowe. As I want to again request the Secret Service operational security plan and related records for the July 13, 2024 campaign event held by President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. My office has received records related to the apparent location of some law enforcement posts during the July 13, 2024 event, to include Butler County and Beaver County Emergency Services units with assignments at the AGR building. My office has also obtained the below color-coded document indicating what appears to be some state law enforcement sectors for the Trump rally, and the document notes each sector is highlighted by order of importance. Is the document accurate? Did local law enforcement have the shared responsibility with Secret Service to cover the AGR building? To better understand the full security posture of the event, the Secret Service must provide equivalent records. Also, additional records I've obtained show that the Secret Service Counter Unmanned Aerial Systems, UAS, their operator, was on the personnel list assigned to the July 13, 2024 event, and then Director Cheadle testified yesterday that there are times during his security plan that the Secret Service does deploy an asset like a drone. Yet, it is reported that a gunman flew a video-capable drone over the event site hours before the President Trump took the stage, which may have helped him plan the attack. Is that reporting accurate? Is the below document accurate? So I'm talking about the drone down in here. Oops. Third page. On July 16, 2024, I wrote the DHS and Secret Service requesting information and records about the catastrophic security failure that resulted in the July 13, 2024 assassination attempt on former President Trump, which resulted in one person being killed and 2 others being seriously wounded. On July 20th, 2024, I provided DHS and Secret Service portions of the emails relating to post standers and requests to know the total number of post standers at the Joe Biden and Trump event on July 13th, 2024, as well as the total number of federal personnel present at the Trump rally. Recently, I have also obtained video footage of the aftermath of the shooting in which local law enforcement can be heard discussing drone availability to clear the water tower. The water tower keeps coming up. The angles do work. It would come in from the other side of the screen, the Jumbotron, but I think they would work. I'm curious. I'd like someone to do the lines from there through the shooter at the podium, or through the president at the podium, into where would those go? Now, we've got 8 shots. It doesn't mean any of those actually hit the hydraulic equipment behind. The dude on the roof could have sucked balls, and that's the point of a patsy sometimes. He might not have had any of those shots come anywhere near Trump, but he managed to get 8 shots off. If somebody was up on the water tower, all the people that have listened to the audio and said there's 2 shooters, which most people instantly assumed it was the regular shooter and then the real one, forgetting that the Secret Service actually shot also, and we know that for fact. So now we need 3 shooters to support that conclusion. And most people heard 2 and they instantly got excited. But I wonder, a true, real marksman, one that's serious about what they do, one that needs a shot or 2, maybe 3, his suppressor would have held up. And at range, we wouldn't have even heard the crack, especially if it was a round that was potentially subsonic in any way, shape, or form. So it makes you wonder, was there somebody in the tower? Now, again, would you be shooting from a need position? I doubt it. I don't know if that shadow's legit. That might just be something on the tower that people are seeing, but that doesn't necessarily negate there being a shooter either. We've got some really crap pixelated video images that we're looking at. Who knows? Maybe there's not. I don't know. We shouldn't have to worry about that question. That's the real point, which is what they're discussing here. So Grassley's trying to get a bunch of information. Did USS local or state law enforcement deploy UASs? Did they have any aerial footage at all? Any drones? We want that information, obviously, and a whole bunch of other questions. We're going to see where this gets us. We're going to see where it gets us. Secret Service encourages Trump campaign to stop outdoor rallies. Will he? Probably, to a degree. Depends. It might totally depend on what elevated positions exist around. Can we support it? Typically, he's done stuff at airports where he can use the plane behind him to kind of block to a degree. So there's things they can do and still pull off outdoor rallies, but there's a lot of discussion, too, that they're going to be starting working towards like basketball stadiums and crap like that. It won't be anything stupid like Harris's gymnasiums. Trump is way too big to fill like he needs, huge seating, at least 18, 20,000 seating or bigger. He had over 107,000, I think he said. Was that the Jersey one? Crap ton of people showed up there. President Trump said on Tuesday that he wants to make at least one visit and possibly more to the southern border as he seeks to make the ongoing migrant crisis a central issue in his reelection. And he's doing this intentionally, 1, because she's border czar, 2, because he's trying to force her to make a move that she doesn't want to make. And she's going to go to a place, if she goes there, when she goes there, that won't matter. Or, and it's possible, she'll just ignore it and pretend and cackle her way through it. I don't need to go down there. I've got other important places that I need to make sure I'm showing up. Whatever stupid roundabout way she'll say it, repeating words multiple times in the same sentence, because, she's so smart. Oh, it's amazing times we're in right now. Paul Sperry talks about this breaking in the House testimony. FBI Director Wray said DOJ IG Horowitz is investigating and will deliver a report on whether FBI confidential sources and or undercover agents were embedded with the protesters or otherwise utilized during the January 6, 2001 riot at the Capitol. I'm going to be super curious how this report goes. 1, I'd say almost all of us MAGA people almost all of us, and a bunch of other people probably, know for sure there was agents embedded. Know for sure. Unquestionably. Epps, for sure. Epps was somehow something. He was definitely leading people astray. We had the fence folder. We had the dude in the tower. There was a slew of guaranteed provocateurs that were definitely not part of us normal MAGA people. Unquestionably. So we'll see what they say. Can we trust them? Probably not. Probably not. Get out of here. Why? I mean, their track record sucks, or sucks balls, as I would say, and that's with a Z. I'm not trying to be gross. You thought it, not me. FBI raids former Kathleen Hochul's aide. Sorry, Kathy Hochul's. Her aide's house. $3.5 million Long Island home. She raided it. The former aide to Governor Kathy Hochul reportedly had her $3.5 million home raided. Feds carried out this pre-dawn search at the 5-bedroom property where Linda Sun, one of the Hochul's former deputy chiefs of staff, lives in a gated community in Manhasset. Law enforcement sources told the Post. Is that Long Island? Is that where that's at? Anyway, the reason for the raid, first reported on by New York Times, wasn't immediately clear. Now, some of you are making assumptions about this story, and you would be correct. It's because Kathy Hochul's aide got raided, not because she's a hot Asian chick. That's secondary. That just made the picture fun to stare at. Damn, she's cute. Yeah, she's... I don't know what she did wrong, but give her a chance, people. All right, NBC News put this out, so I mean you can trust it like about this much. Alabama universities shutter DEI offices, open new programs to comply with new state laws. Ooh, changes are happening, it seems, folks. Changes are happening. This has to do with the Berenson guys, right? I think the Brunson brothers, sorry. The trumpet guys. The trumpeteers. 3 Supreme Court justices recused themselves from this. This is him basically going after them because they failed to do their to deal with the fact that they pledge allegiance to the Constitution. What's the proper words for that? A legal and binding duty under the law to grant the petition, which centers on the oath of office. There you go, the oath to protect the Constitution, which cannot be ignored without it being violated in the oath of office. Long story short, those 3 justices that were named in it, they did recuse themselves, and then the remaining justices, whatever, this thing got kicked to the curb. Kicked to the curb. They didn't dissent. They didn't write anything. Kicked it to the curb. So I've said before, I don't think the Brunson thing is the way this is going to play out, and I don't think it's going to be allowed to. Right, wrong, and different, we can argue that all day long. Ultimately, what it seems like is it's not getting moved forward. Whatever. It is what it is. That's what's happening. Senior representatives of more than a dozen Palestinian factions, including Hamas and Fatah, have signed a unity agreement in Beijing on Tuesday to form a government together. This is concerning to a degree. Not sure how this plays out in the big picture, but certainly doesn't look good for Israel. There's a long-standing rivalry between Hamas, which has been in power in Gaza since 2007, and Fatah, the main force in the U.S.-backed Palestinian Authority that governs parts of the occupied West Bank. Multiple previous attempts at reconciliation have failed. It seems China was able to put something together. With Biden, couldn't possibly. Marjorie Taylor Greene's pissed off about this because here's once again a bunch of protesters interrupting an actual, government thing, right? But again, that didn't really play out with Trump either, and that one's been kicked to the curb because it's not been properly fought on both sides, right? I don't know why I can't think of the words, but now they all got matching t-shirts and stuff, right? Like, this is very funded. They got a lot of people up there today. We don't need to play it. Who gives a crap? But the senior Capitol Hill aides were expecting around 10,000 people. Wondering if they're all wearing the shirts. A lot of t-shirts, man. Good job. Good job. Y'all match. And it's red, too, which is kind of cool. They should have put a Make America Great Again hat on their head just to really be crazy and help us advertise. Just saying. What'll it cost you an extra, what, $20? Pfft, come on. Anti-Israel protesters claim to have unleashed maggots and crickets at the Israeli, what was this dinner thing they were having? Their delegation's hotel at the Watergate Hotel, by the way, which is kind of funny. But yeah, they... Bunch of crickets, mealworms, whatever. It's just pretty disgusting. By the way, just saying, for all you vegans out there, you guys just killed a bunch of animals. You understand that, right? You killed a bunch of animals, you animal killers. You guys are so horrible, you animal killers. Speaking of something that you would swat and kill in a heartbeat, states across U.S. are seeing seasonal increase in mosquitoes with West Nile virus. Because, that's like totally normal to have here. And mosquitoes live so long that, of course, they survive the floating across the Atlantic and the crazy new storms we have from the Nile. Yeah, no, this is a bunch of crap. Obviously, they're whenever they say, hey, we're going to infect a bunch of mosquitoes and then release them into your area, and they're going to kill all the other mosquitoes, because we got a mosquito problem. Yeah, you guys are making it worse. The people that are, quote unquote, doing you a favor, doubt it's a favor. Doubt it's a favor. What I'm going to suggest to you is take matters into your own hand, because they're going to do this kind of stuff. We know there's a lot of viral stuff that's out there, and we know there's medicines that can help us. The Wellness Company is definitely one of these companies that helps all of us make sure we can keep ourselves healthy. They've got a number of ways to do it. Their med kits are incredible. Not only do they have emergency and first aid kits, but they've also got medical kits that have antibiotics, that have different antiviral medications, that have a whole slew and laundry list. You should look at all of them. They've got some really amazing things that they can help keep you safe from different biotears, bite wounds, colitis, pneumonia, nausea, vomiting, parasitic infections, whole bunch of things. And that's just this medical kit, right? We've got all sorts of stuff on the contagion kit that they can help protect you from as well. They've got bronchitis, community-acquired pneumonia, COPD can be helped with some of the medications that are within this. You talk to a doctor, you do it legally, all of this is on the up and up, and it's actually a great group of doctors that are doing this. They've also got some of the best supplements that exist out there for some of the best prices, in my opinion. The prices on a lot of these products are incredible. And the spike support is definitely one you want to consider if you're worried about whether or not maybe you got the vaccine or something, and you're just wanting to make sure you stay healthy. That would be one I would look into for you. Great products. Check into them. Go to twc.health/OTF. That's twc.health/OTF. There's all sorts of virtual care memberships. You can see a doctor. You can ask a lot of questions. Again, I'm not a doctor. I highly recommend that you talk to a doctor. And believe it or not, the About Us, the leadership of this company, is actual physicians, doctors. So they're the ones that are helping put these kits together. These guys know what they're doing. They're very good people trying to get this to you because we know what they are trying to do to us, right? That's why a lot of the stuff I advertise is about preparing ourselves for what they're trying to do to us, because then you kind of got a shield. You don't have to worry about it. Like drslikesgold.com. That's another example where you're protected from what they're trying to do. That's all this is. This is a perfect example of that. You're helping the channel, you're helping yourself. It's actually really good product and discounted down for what you're getting. There's a lot of stuff in there. And the numbers of the pills and all that. Believe me, these kits are well put together. Definitely take a look at them. Go to twc.health/OTF. twc.health/OTF. Get out of their system, get out of their trust factor, and get out of relying on them. You'll find when you are prepared for what's going to come, you don't worry about what they're trying to do. And then you can focus on trying to help us stop them. That's what's powerful. You're not in the worrying phase. You're not with a foot backwards. You're actually charging forward. I think it's a bad example through that part. But whatever the case is, we're making it happen. Paul Sperry put this out in House testimony. FBI Director Wray said the DOJ, IG Horowitz, is investigating. Yeah, I already talked about this. They get lost? Oh, I did, didn't I? Down here. I got lost, people. Josh Hawley put this out. For the first time ever, a ban on congressional stock trading just got a vote in the Senate committee and passed. Now on the floor for the House. Oh, it's on the floor for the House. For the Senate. They're going to finally vote on whether or not they're allowed to insider trade. This is going to shut down the deep state in major ways. Well, they'll figure out ways to cheat or they get in big trouble. I'm curious to see how that plays out. Top House lawmakers are demanding testimony from CrowdStrike CEO George Kurtz regarding the global IT outage on Friday. We'll see what comes from this. These guys have lied before to the public. DNC server, the hack all around that. I think they were also involved with the Steele dossier to some degree. These guys have been on the wrong end, wrong side of many things so far. So we'll see how it plays out. I definitely think this is a deep state company, unquestionably. A couple little sciencey cool things. Oh, cool, relative term. Out in Yellowstone, this was some abnormal geyser explosion that was pretty big while people were there. I think some warning signs had been put up, but people are stupid. If it says wet paint, they touch it to make sure it's actually wet. They don't trust the sign. Why would I trust the sign? That's stupid. So signs might say caution, and they're like, well, caution about what? This thing over here that's fizzling and sizzling? Well, let's check it out. Because we're stupid. That's just what we are. It's fun. It's fun to really rejoice that stupidity. I think it is. Anywho, this is craziness. Check it out.
Shit! Run! 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 Keep going. Run! 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 Shit! Run! 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 Run!
Again, people could die. Let me go first so I can make sure stuff.
So they're just like walking around. They don't see anything too crazy, but that's pretty crazy, right? And I feel like shit.
Let's take a look here.
I feel like shit is definitely the right thing to say in that moment in time. I feel like it. Like if you didn't say shit or the F word, which would have been better, you don't deserve to be there. You just are not representing the English language properly in a time of crisis. That's all I'm saying. Three-fingered alien mummy found in Peru. Apparently this thing's got fingerprints. I don't know if you guys have been following the story at all. I've kind of stayed to the side of it, even though I'm totally into all this stuff. And I've actually been following the original one that they were talking about way back when. Been a lot of studies done on it, a lot of people involved in it. All said, there's a lag on the steering wheel? That'd be annoying. Yeah, that'd piss me off. Wow. This is totally not related to the story at all. I'm going to pause this because they're just ripping on the Tesla truck, which I think is probably an admirable thing to rip on. All said, I've seen some really cool stuff regarding it, but that's not what we're talking about. Apparently the fingers on these aliens got some let's call them fingerprints. I don't know. They cut their fingers off and stuff. This little mummy guy, they don't think it's human. They cut off his little, I think, arm so they could study him or something. There was definitely some that were fake that were compiled of multiple different body parts, like they were put together. And then there's these other ones that definitely seem legit. Some could even say too legit to quit. So we'll see exactly how things continue to play out with this. I think there's mysteries on this planet that we'll probably never understand, but they're still looking into it. All that said, we're moving through it. Working together. I guess I could put myself on the screen. Why not? Let's do that. Let's do that. We keep making a difference, and I love you guys for being a part of this audience. Hit the subscribe if you have, please, if you're still with us. Also, make sure you're subscribed. I say thumbs up, whatever it is. Hit the rumble sign or whatever, and help with that. It helps with the algorithm. And again, you guys are the best. I love you. And just be as prepared as you can. Just know that whatever you got going on in your heart, and we talked about karma at the start of this, the better you are inside, the better you're going to be on the outside. I swear. Just do it. Come at it from that angle. Make sure you're solid. Make sure you're good. I always say prepare for the worst, hope for the best. Keep your mind in a great, hopeful place, and you'll find that things generally will work out fine for you. Everything could go crazy, chaotic around you, but you're in the center of the storm. Remember that. You're in the center. You'll be okay. Things are going to get a little bumpy, but all in all, we're, I think, doing a lot better than the expectations. So we're way ahead of the curve, and we're going to continue to amaze everyone. Thanks for the help, and continue with me. Where we go one, we go all. It's On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.